a Maple. Totally correct me if I'm wrong. And it's kind of interesting that they've kind of, shed their old ones, time for the new generation. And we got Zora rocking Hodan. Tabski playing Pomme. And this is an interesting matchup. Gotta love the Hodan skin. Wonder what that reminds you of.
Wonder what it could be. I like how instantly Tabski just went and said, like, all right, I'm gonna play in the corner now, and this is my home. It can be a tough position to play around, especially given the tail that Pomme can frequently uses on things like up air, back air, etc. Right? Like the added range, the added like extended range on that, plus the bodyguard, plus like just so I forget his name. It'll come to me later. That added range, as well as the offstage flexibility, prevents the platform combos that Hodan really loves, forcing him into basically like a charge fair or bust kind of style.
As I was saying, very interesting matchup, because I do think something I've noticed that if Pomme does not have a field out, she's absolutely lethal. She's absolutely lethal in the air, but actually defensively in the air without her field, she can be in quite a rough position. I think Hodan can absolutely exploit that, especially with like charged up B.
Oh, okay. Just gets the parry just forward strong at 0. You would think you would want something like an up strong, an up tilt there, or something of the like. Instead, it's just, sometimes you gotta take your simple stuff as the bodyguard comes in to pop him up. No charge up B though. Man, these two have just been trying to trade turns into closing out each other's stocks, but a couple missed charges there on the part of Zora is going to leave Tabski in advantage and in just surviving as well, but not the third time. Looking to play around as much as possible here, like seeing if you can take this stock without too much value or too much damage lost. Oh, that is
a clean stock.
Yeah. Almost a little scary when you got the parry on the platform but didn't punish it, but you still covered it up. Vince,
Tabski doing a very good job zoning out with bodyguard and those fairs. I gotta say, I feel like fair is one of the worst moves in the game to feel like, when you get hit by it, it feels terrible. It's not even that much worse than like, a lot of other moves, but it just like, it makes that sound, and you're just like, ooh, that is a nasty move.
Yeah, it's got a really nice punch.
It is explosive. Ooh. And Zora gonna take first game, not without a fight.
Absolutely not without a fight, but I'm really, really impressed by the landing to catch Vince is the bodyguard's name, I remembered. To interrupt Vince before he gave Tabski back the free side of the stage, but because Vince was interrupted, Tabski acted thinking that Vince wouldn't, so Zora was able to land and just forward strong on the empty movement forward from Tabski. Super nice stuff to be just fully offensive and to take advantage of a situation that Tabski was not ready to react to.
Tabski going to counterpick to Jules Veil. Again, this is another stage where I feel like it's pretty universally loved. Definitely see advantages for both sides.
It's got all the things you want. That moving platform can be a bane and a benefit, but a lot of the times it's just it adds a nice extra dimension on top of the top platform. That package going over is pretty handy.
And I am loving the use of field just to get back on stage. Sneak that little note back in.
Can prep as much as possible. Vince again.
You gotta love Pomme recovery trees. Like, it is very interesting. Like, all the options she has available to her to get back. And Absolutely. Taking first stock, with a pretty healthy lead, only taking 41%. But when you're this light, one of the lightest characters in the game, you do not take that for granted for a second. You may as well be at, kill percentage at all times.
Oh yeah, like in no way or form.
There is no free lunch here.
Yeah, there's no time to take it easy. In the same, no moment where you should be like taking it easy, given how you can just explode at any given time. But this does, case in point. But this does give a free pass for Tabski to not approach. Like,
absolutely, and when you notice that when Tabski is finally forced to approach, Hodan, all he has to do is charge fair. It's that simple, and gets those kills.
Big fists from a big
so
big
you
monkey.
gotta rely on
God.
that is a brutal plat boost, I believe.
Yeah, that
into
using
fair.
Just the raw stage.
The raw momentum, just that monkey went flying.
He's trying to get out there. Oh, getting the spike hitbox or the bury hitbox, but no place to bury into. And it's
again,
just...
I'm really liking. Oh, and gets the dare of all things.
Yeah, the uncharged fair there wouldn't have connected because it would have been so much smaller, but getting the down air instead covers that same kind of sweeping arc, and Zora, after a rough start for them, like being down a stock and looking like Tabski was getting in the position to dominate the pacing of the game, just exploding for 2 stocks. But Tabski says, you know what? Time to run it back. Game number 3, no issues from the stage perspective. I simply have to be better. See how much better that he can be. The Sweat Spirit's getting interrupted, and that trade wasn't super favorable. Zora is starting to really climb up here, and just by nature of it feels... Oh, no. Oh, there was no up B and no field to spawn. Couldn't you, but went for
that's just a truly unfortunate series of events, because just about a second short. That was a great use of up B as just a explosive option. Just covered so much space there.
That's like the
reset neutral. It's very good.
That's been almost the entire MO of Zora in this set, right? Like, just been a lot about space coverage, a lot about finding awkward trades, and being willing to take a hit if it means finding a better position to attack offense, to go further offensively.
Absolutely, I think Tabski. I was about to say, like, I thought, like, is Tabski getting a little nervous here, because he was immediately, like, running off stage, setting up the field, throwing out some notes. It's like, I don't want to challenge you on stage. I gotta slow this down. But just saw a very nutty string from him.
And yet, it's the strings have been there. Like, that's the real tough part. Like, I can't point out any individual thing besides, like, it's that singleton SD that's been like, oh, Tabski just, like, really flubbed this or really missed this part. But Zora has just been finding ways around Tabski's disadvantage.
And a bit of a rough DI there. I think Zora could have lived that.
I agree. I mean, game agrees too. No purple sparks.
No purple sparks. I think you can do better.
Dan says do better.
That was a skill issue. Oh, no, I am not criticizing the skill of these two players at all. It is amazing what we've seen so far in this set.
It gets tougher and tougher with each passing moment. In each passing moment, Vince gets interrupted yet again, but Tabski...
And it's just so rough. You can see, like, Tabski was doing this really impressive, like, circular motion through field. And he manages to, like, but then he still gets poked, like, just by Hodan.
You gotta keep Hodan off balance. You can spend a lot of time in the air, but
and that's much better DI at that time.
What a parry on that note, and what a parry on the landing approach from Tabski, and that will absolutely cement it. And I gotta tell you, getting parried for your final stock feels horrible, but Tabski did play that very, very well up until the end.
Yep, absolutely. Shoutouts to both players. Excellent set. Zora going to be moving on to top 8.
Believe that was... Yeah, it is
top
still...
12. My apologies.
Yeah, so next set they play will be a top 8 qualifier from the loser side. Tabski eliminated Zora, moving on.